Okay, good evening, David Macau, David Okello, Mariam, and Paul. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you for this masterclass session. And I trust you can all be able to hear me. Probably you can just give me an indication if you can hear me well.
Yes, we can.
Asante sana. Yeah, thank you so much. And it's a privilege to be able to get an opportunity to interact with leaders, and we're expecting a few others to join us, but normally we are always very particular on time. In the masterclass, we always say that we try to respect each other's time, and that one way of doing that is to make sure that we are on time. So just want to take the opportunity first to congratulate you for making this decision, because I know knowledge is what drives every leader, and also network is also a critical asset to every leader. And those are the basic underlying foundation of this program, just to be able to broaden our knowledge space and also to be able to broaden our network. But we'll engage more as we continue. Otherwise, for now, allow me just to say a prayer, and then we'll be able to pick it up from there. So let's say a prayer together. Heavenly Father, we are grateful for this opportunity. As we engage as leaders this night, we pray that, Lord, you will be able to help us to have a deeper understanding on the concepts, on the issues that we're going to discuss today. We are praying for your inspiration beyond just information or knowledge. Our desire is to experience total transformation for the good of the people that we are leading and for the overall glory of your name. In Jesus' name, we do pray and believe. Amen.
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 So I want just to take this opportunity again to welcome, especially those who are joining the masterclass. There are those among us who have completed alumni of the program, and they're together with us tonight. But particularly, I will want just to give an opportunity to those who are joining for the first time, just to be able to introduce themselves briefly. Maybe you can just mention your name and probably your leading space where you lead. And I know we have interacted quite a lot in terms of your expectation, but if you can still mention maybe just one thing that you really feel you are looking up to as we engage together, that will also be good. And maybe even where you are joining us from, it's good just to know who we have on board, and just to appreciate each and every one of us from where we are joining this masterclass from. And then from there, I'll just jump into a very brief overview as we get into the other session of today. We're expecting to run for 1 hour, 30 minutes, but we'll have some little break in between so that we're able to freshen up as we continue. So for now, for the introduction, let me first start by inviting David Macau just to unmute and introduce yourself, and then I'll move on to David Okello. Welcome.
Thank you so much for the invitation. My name is David Macau, just as it appears, and I'm catching the session from Machakos. Okay, I'm involved in leadership in the men's ministry, leading one of the House of Prophets that is in Desiu Moja. And I'm also involved in leadership in the fellowships, estate fellowship. And so my expectation actually is to get equipped in the leadership and get more skills, because actually when you are leading people, you need to be more equipped. So actually I'm expected to be more equipped and then more importantly, just the interest that I have. You know, just like you said, sometimes back leadership starts with you. That's from inside. So I'm expecting to get more so that I can reach out to many. I don't know whether I've left something for now. Good evening.
Yeah, thank you so much. David Macau will interact more as we continue.
Yeah.
But equipping, that will come out very strongly as we engage together.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next, I'll call David Okello. Yeah, David Okello, you can unmute and introduce yourself. Okay. You seem not to get David Okello clearly. Maybe I'll just send him a chat as we try to see what is happening. Then let me move on to Mariam Karanja. Mariam Karanja, if you can connect and introduce yourself, please do so.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Mariam Karanja. I'm glad to be here, looking forward to learning on how to be a leader for myself, for the people around me, for my family, for my church, and for the organization that I work for. So I'm looking forward to equipping myself with skills that will help me to handle issues as they may arise in life, and mainly taking the lead and being a good leader and ensuring that I'm able to help others also become leaders in the future. So I'm glad to really be here. Thank you, Joseph, and thank you, team, for organizing this. Looking forward to interacting more and also learning more from the whole team. So I think that's all I can say for now. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mariam. Good to connect through this platform. Let me move on to Paul Blasio.
Good evening, guys.
Good
As you've heard,
evening.
my name is Paul Blasio, and I'm excited to be here, just to be with you guys in this space. I'm in leadership at the Deliverance Church Men's Council as an assistant treasurer. I'm also in Man Enough and also PMCC premarital counseling class. And also I'm a leader in my house.
True. Very true.
And I'm an entrepreneur. And I'm looking forward to learn, to be equipped with the right sets of skills so that I can be able to excel in the various spaces, in marriage, in my business, in my leadership, basically Man Enough, PMCC, and just interact with the people, just to learn more from each other. Yes.
Thank you so much, Paul. I can see we have quite a number of intertwined activities. I'm also in Man Enough, so I think we'll also be engaging more as we continue. Let me see, for the alumni, allow me, because I see we are quite a number of us, so we'll interact as we move on. iPhone, there's someone with iPhone, not sure who it is. Please let me know who you are, either you can text or just please mention your name. Okay, as we wait for that, I'll go to Nolan Milama. Nolan, if you can unmute and just introduce yourself, your name, and probably where you're joining us, and one of your expectation, that will be good. So Nolan, please introduce yourself.
Yes, hello.
Hello, Nolan.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
we can hear you.
Okay. I'm Awor Nolan Milama, and I'm joining from Kisumu. Yes, I'm also a teacher.
Mm.
Is there anything else I'm supposed to say?
One expectation?
Oh, my first expectation is just to get the information, rather know more about leadership, since it is a global leadership forum. So just to have a good or rather view concerning leadership in general.
Mm. Yeah, true. Thank you, Nolan. We'll engage more on that. Next, let me, Robert Gitahi. Robert Gitahi, if you can unmute and introduce yourself.
Good evening, team.
Yeah, good evening.
My name is Robert Getai, as they appear there. I'm glad to be on this platform. I'm really grateful for this opportunity that has been presented to us, at least for us to be well equipped with the right skills to be good leaders. So I'm really grateful and thankful for this opportunity. So my expectation is to be equipped with the right set of skills to be in a position to lead in the right manner. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Robert. Okay, let me see. The rest will interact as we move on or as we continue. Otherwise, most of you, I'm sure by now you have your manual and you also have the book review, the book that we shall be reviewing together, Purpose-Driven Leader. But I'm not sure if Gitahi, you already have your copy. Maybe you can confirm. And also Paul, I'll make an arrangement for you to be able to also get your copy. Otherwise, for today, we'll just do an overview and then we'll engage. What we'll be doing, there will be a lot of engagement as we continue. Our chat platform will be open every time. In this masterclass, if something stands out for you, we always encourage that just share it on the chat so that we can be able to also be generous enough to share what am I take home. So if something you feel is your take home and you feel, wow, this is what I'm really embracing from this masterclass, feel free to share on the chat. We'll be posting just to look at what is on the chat and also be able to share it out. We'll also be calling on us probably once in a while just to be able to interject the discussion and also share our viewpoint. We'll be presenting different viewpoints in this masterclass, but also we'll be posting just to also to listen. It's actually a co-learning experience. It's a co-learning experience. So we'll learn from what we have in terms of the materials, but we also will learn quite a lot from our experiences, from our different backgrounds. Otherwise, I can say, iPhone, you have raised your hand. Is there something that we need to sort? Okay, so let me just get in touch with you as we continue. Otherwise, let's first get an experience of what we are expecting. All of us are expecting. Yes. Okay, that's an iPhone. You can introduce yourself, please. Please proceed. Okay, I think we still have some challenge with that. Please just use your text message. You can send me a text message, and then I'll be able to read out as we continue. So the masterclass, we normally call it becoming a global leader. So that's the first thinking of every participant of this masterclass. That as much as I'm leading locally, I'm not leading in my home, as Paul has indicated. I'm thinking local, but at the same time, or I'm leading local, but at the same time, the thinking is that how do I package myself for a global arena in terms of my leadership? So our thinking is, as a global leader, I need to think global, lead local, and transform the world. There is a very small restaurant in Umoja, small in terms of the space, in terms of where the location and the spacing within the restaurant. But one thing I like with that restaurant is that the service is like in any other big hotel. And when we're engaging with that proprietary, he indicated to me that he doesn't just look at the people that he's serving within the vicinity of Umoja, but for him is serving a global market. And that calls for packaging, it calls for the customer service, and it calls also for quality of the food that he's making. So that's the kind of thinking that we are instilling in each and every one of us, that we think global, which means we package whatever we are doing in terms of a global mindset. And also, we also take the initiative to be able to lead local, meaning I lead from where I am. I lead from the space that I'm given. And we believe also that a better leader is a better life. Basically, we are saying leadership starts from a personal level. And if I'm to experience a better life, it means I have to offer a better leadership to myself before I can be able to lead in the public space or in the organizational space. And also, it also resonates with the family. If you see a family is doing well, probably we'll be able to identify good leadership in that family. A community, better community, always will be able to link it to a better leadership, and a nation as well, and also in the global arena. So this is the thinking behind the Global Leadership Masterclass, amongst the other perspectives that we're going to look at. And we are basically equipping leaders to transform generations. So it's a generational mindset, a generational thinking, which instill in us the aspects of succession management, and also with that security of empowering people who will be able to come and run with what we have started. There will be a lot of networking and team building and outdoor experience later on as we continue. This was just one of the experiences that we had out there with a team that was graduating. So we'll also be engaging quite a lot on such kind of activities as we move on. And the best way to start this masterclass is to just re-echo this quote by President Mwai Kibaki, the third president of Kenya. And this is what he said, as you can see from your screens: the leadership is a privilege to better the lives of others. It's not an opportunity to satisfy personal greed. So we are privileged to be leaders wherever we are. And that means that within our environment, within our space of leadership, then what is expected of us is that there will be better life, better families, better community as we run through, because that is the success, the measure of a successful leader. And look at this. There's something also that I want to share on this masterclass. But before I discuss that point, I just want you to look at the screen and look at what the image you can see. And just tell me how many triangles you can count. How many triangles can you count? You can share on the chat. How many triangles can you count? So just say share on the chat, we see. Yes. Nolan, I've seen your comment. And also Robert, I've seen your comment. So will be able to get in touch with you. Robert Gitahi, you can also indicate your number so that it will make it easier for me to be able to get in touch with you. Okay, so how many triangles can you see? Let me see from the chat. Just share on the chat. Just share on the chat. Who will be the first one just to share? How many can you count? Let's see how many. How many triangles? Feel free to share. Every depends with how you are looking at it and how you are counting. So, okay, Nolan says 6. Peter Gidiomi 25. Justin 13. I'll take 2 more. Mariam Karanja 27, and the last one is how many? 27, 13, 25, and 6. And again, we have David Okello 13 and iPhone. I'm yet to establish the name that I'll be using 13. So why are our answers different and the image is the same? How comes we have different answers and we are all looking at the same image or the same triangle? Probably just one person can unmute and just make a comment. Why are we having different answers and yet the image is the same? Probably looking at, some of you indicated 13, others from 13, from actually 6 to 27. What is causing that difference? Yeah, why are the answers different? From your own thinking, what do you think we are having the different answers and yet we are all looking at the same image? Yeah. Okay, so Mariam, probably you can share your comment. Why are the answers different and all of us are looking at the same image?
I wanted to say we are all different and we are having different views of what we are seeing. Yeah.
Yeah, true, very true. How about David Macau? Your comment on this?
Okay, sometimes it depends from the angle you are in, and also the site, your high site. So we see different.
Yeah. Yeah, true, true, true. And when it comes to issues of leadership, I think that's very critical, very, very important. We are leading people from different backgrounds, different cultures, different thinking, different levels. There's quite a lot of diversity. And we all probably be looking at the same point or the same concept, but people will come with different perspective. And in really sense, what we have been seeing here, there are 24 triangles. There are 24 triangles. And again, how much details you're able to get from the image also will be able to take us probably to a more detailed approach in terms of the answer that we'll be able to come up with at the end of the day. So the perspectives, the uniqueness, the angle from which you're looking at the image, the triangle, the aspects, all these issues, that informs what I will be seeing or what I'm seeing. So in the masterclass, we appreciate every perspective, and that not only in the masterclass, but basically in leadership. Try to understand the people's perspective and to be able to appreciate what they are, and also to understand from what angle are they looking at probably the image or probably the concept that you are discussing. So perspectives are respected, appreciated. And 2 is the issue of details, getting into more details. I think we'll be looking more, not just in what we are seeing, but in how we are looking or how we are seeing what we are seeing, and also why we are seeing what we are seeing. So we'll be breaking down those concepts what I'm seeing, how am I seeing, and why am I seeing it that way. Basically, we'll be getting into the details of issues because leaders, we are problem solvers, and sometimes it will take us to go beyond the carpet, beyond the surface, to be able to unpack what is out down there. So as we continue, there are troubleshooting tools that we'll discuss, or problem-solving techniques that we'll discuss, which are inclined with what we are discussing today. So that's one perspective, one mindset of a global leader, especially focusing on this masterclass. And there's a question here: what is the toughest leadership challenge? As we were discussing this with another group, we realized that the toughest leadership challenge is to lead myself. It's quite easy sometimes to give instruction, but living those instructions becomes a much bigger challenge to every leader. Giving instruction, giving orders can seem much easier than being able to really take the initiative to be able to lead ourselves. So this will be the foundation of every leadership, and the foundation of our discussion will be anchored on leading self. Before you can lead change, and before you can also be able to lead teams. This is in line with what Nelson Mandela said. Until I changed myself, I could not change others. Until I changed myself, I could not change others. And the same way, until I lead myself, then I may not be able to lead others. And why is this important? Because leadership is influence, and that comes from how I'm able to influence myself, probably to improve my productivity, my performance, and also my character, among the other issues that we'll discuss, that brings out the distinction, which inspires people to be able to work together with you, what we call now the influence. So this is the core. The core is leading self, and also thinking more about how do I improve myself before even as I replicate the same in terms of how I'm leading others. So I'll discuss about the vision, the objectives, and the expectation of the program as we lay the foundation to get into their content for today. This is our vision: a generational thinker, purpose-centered, and vision-driven leader in every home. We started with the home because that is the foundation of every institution, every home, every organization, and country. So as we take the journey through the masterclass, this is what we are seeing. We are seeing a population, we are seeing homes, we are seeing organizations and countries where there are generational thinkers, leaders who are generational thinkers, meaning they're thinking beyond themselves, leaders who are thinking purpose-centered and also vision-driven leaders. So this is the thinking of every generational leader or every global leader, who we are all becoming today, or who we are all already leading out there as global leaders. So thinking generational, leading with a purpose, and also focusing on a vision. So as we walk through, the main objective is to be able to engage in kind of a very, very sober discussion on leadership challenges and also opportunities. We look at both successful cases and also some cases that can be termed as failed leadership cases. But the viewpoint will be, how do we enhance our personal and organizational leadership from these experiences, from our own personal experience and also from other experience of other leaders out there. And this is critical because everything rises and falls on leadership, according to John Maxwell. So if I as a person is successful, we'll always associate that to the form of leadership that that person is offering to self. If an organization is successful, or a family, then we'll always try to trickle down, and we'll identify that the critical area or the critical success factor is that there's a leader in that particular area. So objectives is just to equip leaders, as most of you have indicated. You are here to be equipped. So, and we'll look at the skills, we look at knowledge, we'll also try to engage more about mindset, because this is key, and belief set, as well as generational mindset. So this will be the engagement. Again, we are empower leaders with practical skills and tools to leverage their strength. So there will be a lot of self-awareness so that we can be able to leverage what we have and then provide practical solutions to challenges facing society. We'll have a session to be able to undertake a group project, and this will be in line to practical challenges that we are encountering out there and how we can be able to offer a solution. Yeah, so that's another objective. And then finally, build global network of generational thinkers, purpose-centered, vision-driven leaders. So we are expanding and growing this network. The moment you complete this masterclass, you're able to join another network of generational thinkers, purpose-centered, and vision-driven leaders. By now, we have about 60 leaders that have gone through this program from last year and this year. And therefore, our objective is to continue growing this network. And as the network grows, also the impact grows. As the network grows, we are also transforming more leaders around within our leadership space. So what we expect at the end is that all of us will be able to appreciate the critical role of leadership in driving transformation. We cannot talk about transformation if we don't talk about leadership. We can not talk about bettering the lives of people if we really don't engage in this crucial discussion about leadership and deepening our understanding on the issues of leadership. Again, we also expect that all of us will be able to understand and apply the 5 C's. We'll discuss this, and the 6 I's and the 6 core principles of leadership. So this will inform our discussions. So by the end of the session, or by the end of the masterclass, these will be concepts that we can easily discuss and also demonstrate in our leadership. Then the other expectation is to enhance skills, knowledge, and attitude. Yeah, so all of us, by the end of this, look at our skill set. I'm sure we'll be able to see quite a lot of improvement, and also our knowledge base in terms of leadership. And also in the issue of our attitude in terms of purpose-centered transformational leadership, I'm sure as we discuss this, this will also be influenced in a positive way. Then inspire a culture of reading and research. There will be a book review. So we'll guide you on the book review so that we can just boost our reading culture and also boost our research culture. Because as leaders, I think this is critical. We always say that the moment you stop reading, then you stop leading. And the moment you stop reading, you also stop growing. You stagnate. So as we continue to build the reading culture, it will help us to be able to be better readers and also to be better leaders. And then the final expectation is that all of us will be able to appreciate and grow networking and collaboration skills in a very practical way, because in the market space, look at the corporate world, the collaboration is critical. No one succeeds alone. We all succeed because we are in a network. And the network that I have and you have is one of our most important assets. But I think when it comes to Global Leadership Network, we are also creating a network that is value adding. These are people who have gone through a 3 months training. And for them to go through that, there's a lot of sacrifice in terms of time, in terms of resources. And there are people that we really want to connect with because of the value addition. So we also expect that we'll all be able to appreciate and also grow our networking and collaboration skills. So this is our expectations. I'm sure they are in line with what Mariam shared, what David shared, and basically what all of us shared. We might have picked 1 or 2 areas, but they are in line with what we have been able to share. The outcome, what do we see at the end? Or what do you see at the end of the program? I think we are looking at informed, empowered, and transformed leaders. Yeah. So you as a person, you as a leader, I think the anchor should be, or the anchor is that I need to be informed. I need to be more empowered, and I need to have experienced transformation at the end of the training. So this is the outcome. And again, we are seeing the outcome of the training, servant heart. I think service-oriented, selfless leadership mindset. So at the end of it all, that's the mindset that we are all trying to impress. Just allow me a minute. Okay, thank you. So as I was saying, the servant heart, enhanced value and impact. We can measure the outcome also by productivity and also performance, wherever we are, either at the family level, organization level, then how productive am I? That will also be an outcome. So if we improve our productivity, that will be a positive outcome. Then there will be a certificate, Certified Global Leadership Network member, so you'll all be able to get a certificate, and then that will position you to be a trainer of leaders, so that we can be able to propagate this message to other leaders out there. So these are the outcomes. And then there are some perspectives that we embrace as we continue, which I've already started engaging on them. But I want just to break them down a little bit. The masterclass perspectives, even before we start engaging on the core of the program. Otherwise, let me just pause for a minute just to be able to check if all of us are getting me clear. If you're getting me clear, if there is any comment you may want to make, if there is any question you may want to pose as we continue, please feel free to do so. Feel free to do so, either on the chat or just unmute and just indicate. So I trust so far we are clear. Yeah, so Robert, you're saying very clear. Yeah, thank you. So far, so good. Asanteni sana. So let's look at this, the perspective for the masterclass. As we go through this masterclass, one of the perspective or one of the thinking that will be impressing is what we are calling leaders who are able to initiate change. Leaders who can initiate change. So we are initiators. And look at this picture here. This is a speaker and some audience there. And the speaker had 3 questions. The first question he asked, who wants change? Who wants change? And everybody was happy, and they raised their hand courageously, and I guess very happy, because we all want change. I'm sure we can confirm that. And then he went on and asked the second question, Who wants to change? Who wants to change? Now the hands are down. And I think now everybody was trying to really think, do I really need to change? First question, all of us wants to change, or all of us wants change. But when it gets to who wants to change, then we can see a very, very different scenario. But what is the third scenario? Look at the third scenario. The third question was, who wants to lead the change? And the speaker was left alone. Everybody disappeared. And that's why you find people who lead change are not that many. They're actually a minority. A minority because one, it takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of self-belief, it takes a lot of resilience to keep on bouncing back. It takes a lot of confidence and courage to go through both the praise and the criticism and to be able to stand the test of time. So this is our slot as Global Leadership Network. We are saying if something needs to be fixed, then there has to be someone who will get out and fix that issue. And there are a lot of issues in our society that requires to be addressed. And therefore, we are saying Global Leadership Network, we are coming in to be able to take that slot of initiating and leading change. So as a global leader, and maybe even as a takeaway from this session, is that this is a very, very intentional approach to knowing and aligning ourselves as initiators and also as drivers of change. Okay, and then let's the first mindset or the first perspective. Second perspective is to appreciate the critical role of leadership in driving positive change, as I've indicated from even the earlier discussion. And this is informed by this proverb: an army of sheep led by a lion will always defeat an army of lions led by a sheep. Very simplified, but a very powerful message. And we are saying that leadership determines the state of its followers. You might have very, very well endowed or people with a lot of potential, but again, who is in front matters a lot. Look at a country like Kenya. I think we are engaging with someone and we are saying Kenya is like a lion or a land of lions, but we also just need another greater lion to be able to lead change. And every time we get a leader who is courageous, a leader who is selfless, we're able to align people. And again, we're able to flow together because a lion is leading other lions. So an army of sheep are not maybe to be coward, but if there is a lion ahead, is a lion that is leading them, then they'll be able to defeat lions that are known to be very courageous, but they are being led by a sheep. So leadership determines everything. And as we invest in our leadership today, we're actually preparing for better leadership tomorrow. As we invest this, not just for ourselves, but even for the people that we are leading and our families and our children, we are preparing them for a better days ahead. So appreciate the critical role of leadership. Again, enhance skills, knowledge, and experience. This is informed by Ecclesiastes 10:10. If the axe is dull and one does not sharpen the edge, then he must use more strength. But wisdom brings success. There are leaders out there struggling to lead. It has become a struggle because I'm leading from probably from my little knowledge. I'm leading from sort of a very, very unstructured point of knowledge, or we have been given responsibility but not empowered. Given responsibility, but we have not been equipped, not been sharpened. And therefore, we are actually an act that is dull. There's so many leaders out there. Passion, they have the courage, they have the zeal, they have the commitment. But now when that sharpening in terms of knowledge, in terms of skills, in terms of experience lacks, then that leader uses so much energy. And at the end, we kill the passion. We kill the compassion, we kill the zeal, because nothing is happening. Just imagine a dull axe. You're just hitting a tree and it keeps on bouncing. You hit and it bounces. And there's so many leaders who are doing that out there. And we felt, why don't we take the initiative just to be able to sharpen them a little bit? And probably with little effort of 20%, they can get 80% results. So this is important, and continuous development is very, very critical. Again, we are talking about cultivating resilience in leaders. This is also very important. Throughout this session, we'll re-echo this word, resilience, until the very end, because this is what will take for all of us to finish this masterclass. The difference between successful and unsuccessful leaders is resilience. They stay on power, bounce back power, the persistence, that inner strength to get back on track despite the bumps, despite the hurdles. The best example that I can use on this is Abraham Lincoln. Look at his history, look at his autobiography. In 1832, lost his job, failed in his business, lost his sweetheart, suffered nervous breakdown, defeated in his run for Speaker's seat, beaten in the run for Congress, defeated for US Senate, defeated for the nomination of Vice President, and then in 1860, elected as the President of America. What can we see from that? I think what he said in his quote, success is going from failure to failure without losing your enthusiasm. That is basically what you're talking about, resilience. You are hit, you're knocked, you hit a bump, but you keep on bouncing back. You're able to maintain and still be on track. So resilience, how do we cultivate resilience? That will be a very, very important discussion. Not just a discussion, but an experience. Because there will be a lot of demand that will be put on us to deliver, and that will require resilience for us to be able to cope. So throughout the program, the resilience will be both in terms of learning and also in terms of practically going through the experience. Again, lifting leadership lead. John Maxwell says the law of the lead states that leadership ability is the lead that determines a person's level of effectiveness. There's no family, there's no organization that can go beyond the lead, and the lead is set by the leader. So the inadequacy of the leadership is a very serious limitation in our current leadership setup, in terms of effectiveness, in terms of productivity, in terms of even individual success or even a team success. So as we go through this, we'll be seeing how do we lift the lead. As a leader, how do I lift my lead? And as I lift the lead, I'll be also be helping the other leaders to be able to lift their own lead. Appreciate the value of self-care. This 1.5 hours is the time that we are blocking for ourselves. So you as a leader, me as a leader, I'm blocking this time for myself to be able to get time to look at the inner person and also see how do I now take care of myself as a leader to be able to take care of the people out there. On board a plane, this announcement is always made that in the event of an emergency, put your own oxygen mask on first before you can help another person. How many times or how often do we pause as leaders just to put our own oxygen mask first, just to refill our cups, re-energize ourselves, connect with another leader, and just have an experience of value addition so that as we go out there, we are also able to add value to others. So I think we really want to emphasize on this, not just for the masterclass, but even later on as we continue, having those intentional self-care moments where I block the moment and I say, this is my time. This is my time just to reflect on myself, enrich myself, refill my cup so that I'm able to take care of the people that I'm leading out there. Erin Urban said, my secret to success is making sure that my cup is full so I can pour into my team, my organization, and my industry. So we are refilling our cup through knowledge. We are refilling our cup through networking. We are refilling our cup through experience sharing. And then we are able to go out there and pour into the other leaders that we are leading out there. Develop dynamic leaders. Basically, this is critical. I think every point I'll be emphasizing is critical because they are all very, very important. COVID has taught us a lot, especially on issues of adaptability, the issues of flexibility, and also the issues of focus. So we can be focused, but we can also be adaptable. We can be focused, but we can also be flexible. That is the paradox of leadership nowadays. And why is this important is because we are living in what we are calling a VUCA world. I don't know how many of us have heard about a VUCA world. Volatile environment where we are required to quickly adjust or react to the changes around us. Some of them are unpredictable, uncertain. You cannot predict. The environment requires us to take action without clarity, without certainty. We cannot even guarantee that the action is the right one, but we really have to take an action. Just think about COVID scenario. Complex, the environment is dynamic, there's so much interdependence and also ambiguity. The environment is unfamiliar, it's outside of our experience. People are testing, we are making decisions that are out there just to test if it will really work out. We are not sure. So this is the kind of the world that we are living in as leaders, and I think it requires a dynamic leader, a leader who is continuously in a learning mode in terms of knowledge and also in terms of experience, in terms of network, and all these other aspects that I've pointed out to. So dynamic leaders saying there's so much rapid change, and maybe what took us to a certain level, or especially where we are, the kind of knowledge, the kind of strategies may not be able to take us to the next phase of our within our leadership space in the globalization environment. So a lot of unlearning, a lot of relearning, a lot of adaptability strategies are very, very important. And we are saying this is a time that a leader should keep his head in the cloud, but feet on the ground. Basically, we are saying be very, very much ahead, but at the same time, create the time to be able to work together with the people that we are leading. So adaptability is crucial in the VUCA world. We'll also focus on appreciating the power of networking and collaboration. John Maxwell says one is too small a number to achieve greatness. No accomplishment of real value has ever been achieved by human being working alone. Even the Global Leadership Network, we appreciate this, that we might come up with a very good program, but you require a team, you require people. We are team B. Our thinking and our belief is always that we need to work as a team B, because team B will fill this basket. Team B will enjoy, everybody will have a cake, everybody will have a fruit, but team A, they might go home. They might go home hungry, yet they were close to the fruits, but they lacked a strategy. Probably they lacked collaboration, probably more selfish. Everybody wanted to fill their own basket. Actually, if you analyze that picture clearly, you see everybody is having their own basket, and everybody probably is waiting for an opportunity to fill their own basket. So at the end of it all of them might walk home with empty basket. Yeah. Okay, that's what I can see. What someone who can see the picture from another perspective? Anybody who can see the picture from another perspective? I've used this photo quite a number of times, but I had not seen those baskets that team A, everybody is having their own basket. I am guessing even the person close to the tree might be having his own basket. But for team B, they are putting their fruits in one basket. Any other perspective that you can see from this? Yeah, I can take one comment. Any perspective, any other lesson that you can pick from this?
The issue of saving time.
Yeah.
Yeah, team B will do it in a very fast way, compared to team A.
Very true.
Team A might achieve nil.
Yeah, in terms of the speed. Actually, I think the strategy comes out quite well. They had a strategy. Yeah, one more comment.
There's also the issue of sacrifice. You can see team B sacrificed to carry the others. There's the person at the bottom sacrificed so that the others can come on top of him, so they can be able to reach out to what they want.
Wow, I like that. Sacrifice and leadership. Maybe we can take one more. Maybe a lady also, a lady can share also. Wow, but I like that. Sacrifice, speed. Lady, probably we can have one lady sharing a comment also. Nolan, if you can share a comment, that can be good, or Mariam, or Rebecca.
I see team B, they are excited, they are working together and they are all happy. Unlike team A, where some are like the person farthest from the tree seems very angry. So when you work together, you get even time to have fun. But when you want to work alone, you may end up being very stressful. That's my thinking.
Very true. Wow, true. In team A, the third guy there, I think he's not happy. He's not happy. So there is fun in working together. You can maximize impact, also maximize the benefits, because at the end of it all, you will have more. The basket will be full, so everybody can be able to partake. So I think as we walk through the power of networking, we look at collaboration and networking, co-creation and co-learning, and that will come out so clear when we'll be looking at the project proposal. There'll be quite a lot of co-creation and co-learning, and also collaboration and networking. So collaboration and networking will be a continuous experience, but as we go out for the retreat, I think it will be more enhanced. So just some of the experience that we have had out there. This was one of the networking experience we had. And I think we decided to build a global leadership network, and everybody was holding the string for the network to be complete. And it was our thinking that, wow, all of us are holding something, holding the string. And if anybody left or released the string, then the global leadership network was not complete. So this is some of the experience that we had out there, and we're hoping to have more of this as we continue together in this class. So the structure, which I've already shared, there's 3 stages. So we'll be looking at the coursework based on the global leadership manual, becoming a global leader. So there are 16 modules that we'll look at. And then weekly book review, we'll be using the Purpose-Driven Leader book. So we'll assign you some chapters to read every week. And then there will be a project proposal, which will also guide you at the right time to start on that. Stage 4, course evaluation. There will be an online course evaluation. And then stage 5 is still not yet implemented, but we are exploring on how to implement that. So the levels for the 16 modules, level 1, essentially we look at self-awareness, critically or mostly focusing on leadership. And then level 2, redefining leadership. Level 3, core leadership competencies. We look at issues of power of vision, power of purpose, amongst others. And then level 4 will now helping others to be able to enjoy the benefits that we have all enjoyed. So deploying our leadership capacity, maybe in a bigger scale or in a more enhanced way, because I'm sure all of us are leaders and all of us are serving out there. So the key issue here is to enhance. Enhance a little bit whatever that we already engaged. Okay, so that's the structure. This will be a 12 weeks session, program. So we'll be here for 12 weeks. Each week we'll be meeting for 1.5 hours. Yeah, so that's it. And we'll focus on virtual. Currently, we are having 3 cohorts going on. Cohort 10, meeting on Sunday at 4 p.m. Cohort 11, which is you team, your cohort 11, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Sorry, Thursdays, 8 p.m. And then on Saturday, 8 p.m., we'll be having cohort 12 running. So it's a brief on the foundational information about the masterclass. We haven't gotten into the sessions, just setting the stage. We'll do just one lesson today because we normally spend quite a lot of time just to create the environment and also to lay the foundation so that we are all having the same, we are thinking along the same perspectives, especially on the issues of the objectives of the masterclass. So the preliminary, as we get into the session, the purpose statement, this is in our manual. I think for those of us who have the manual, you can open your manual and check the purpose statement. And we're looking at empowering leaders for personal transformation and as trustees who will empower other leaders. So every leader that goes through this program, first we look at personal transformation, and also I look at myself as a trustee so that I can be able to empower other leaders. And that comes from exploring every opportunity that is available to be able to equip a leader around my leadership space. So this is in line with 2 Timothy 2:2, and the things you have heard in me say, in the presence of many witnesses, entrust to reliable people who will also be qualified to teach others. So we'll be entrusting you with this, and as you hear it from us, we also hope and expect that we can also be able to transmit the same to the leaders out there, because leadership is a vital to any form of transformation, as I have already indicated. And in the purpose statement, you can see that our nation's or an organization's resource may determine its potential, but it is the leadership that ultimately unlocks that potential and determines the success level of the nation, organization, or even the individual. Basically, we are saying you might be endowed with the potential as a person, as a country, or even as a continent. But now, what makes the difference is the leadership. I think I cannot re-emphasize that. What makes the leadership, the difference is leadership. There are people out there who are endowed with a lot of gifts, a lot of potential, but the gap comes because of the issues of leadership. I'm not able to offer leadership to the potential, and therefore it remains dormant. That's why we cascading leadership to a personal level before we start looking at the public level. So together we can accomplish too much as long as we do not care who gets the credit. That's very, very important for us as we equip each other, as we empower each other. Some of you might end up doing exploits. Some of you might end up doing much, much greater works out there. And I think our joy is that like Team B, all of us will be winning. All of us will be winning. And I think the most important of all is that God will be getting all the glory for what we are doing. So our goal is just to keep on equipping without minding who gets the credit. In terms of the cost, nothing comes without a cost, especially something of value. So we are saying time. We'll spend our time every week, 1.5 hours. Financially, there will be cost implication for the manual, and the book, and also the training facilitation, authenticity, and relationally, a lot of sharing, a lot of discussion. So we need to open up and to be able to discuss. But in terms of the financial cost, as I had indicated, the program will cost 4,500, and you can feel free to do the payment either in full or installment through the till number that we have shared there. Okay. So this will be our study method. But before we get to our study method, in the manual, there is some commitment. I don't know if maybe David or Mariam or Norlam, you have your manual. So whoever has their manual, just open where we have the commitments. And I can request Mariam to read for us the commitments. That page on the...
Sorry, Joseph, I have not yet received my manual. I'll be receiving them tomorrow. There was a delay. I didn't manage to receive them, sorry.
Okay, it's okay. Okay. So since I think quite a number of you have not received, then we'll do the commitments next time, because there is a place we need to sign. So allow us to work on the logistics, especially for those who have not received, so that by next week, we can go through the commitments, and then we'll be able to sign that page together. Okay, so our study method, as we go through, starting with the PowerPoint, starting with what we have gone through today, we'll be scanning to look at some key areas in terms of what we are calling the lacked study method. So as we scan through, you'll be looking at what you are learning, maybe the new information or new knowledge. So you may need to single out in your own notebook or your own iPad or whatever method you are scribbling some of these notes. So single out what you are learning, what is new. Single out what you need to apply. What is my application for this week? So you need to be singling out my application. Maybe something that I feel, wow, I need to run with this, I need to apply this. Also single out what areas you need to adjust or change as a leader. And maybe something has come out so strongly and you feel, wow, I need to align myself. I need to adjust in this particular area. So what you need to change, and also what you need to teach. Maybe you are leading a small team, you're leading a big team out there. You can commit yourself from each class, something that you commit to be able to pick as a takeaway, and also transmit the same and commit to be able to teach. So these are the areas that we want you to focus on in every discussion that we are having. Just have this at the back of your mind. Like, I need to single out, what am I learning? New information. What do I need to apply this week? What do I need to change? And also, what do I need to teach? And remember, the proof of knowledge is in the application. So it's not how much we learn. How much we learn is good, but how much we apply and the transformation we are able to experience is the most critical in terms of measuring our output. So this is our calendar, which I'll share. We expect to finish by August 12th. That's when we'll be having our project proposal, but I will share this so that we can look at it critically. Again, every week, as I said, there will be a book review. So we have a schedule for a book review. Like this coming week, and the coming week, our week will be starting from tomorrow, Friday, until Wednesday, so that we can have the session on Thursday. So every week, we'll be assigning you some chapters to review and make a very small summary. I'll share more instruction on that. So this is the schedule. Like the coming week, we'll be reviewing chapter 1 and chapter 3. So chapter 1 and chapter 3. So we skip chapter 2, but we'll give you more direction on that. And then there will be a link for your personal evaluation every week in terms of class attendance, in terms of timely attendance, and also in terms of timely book review. So you'll be indicating, if you fulfill them, you'll be indicating yes. If you don't fulfill for one reason or another, you'll be indicating no. Where not applicable, you'll also be indicating not applicable. So we'll be filling this weekly personal evaluation immediately after every class. We'll be sharing the link where you can be able to fill this and also give us your comments. Okay. And there is this book, The Greatest Story Ever Told. I don't know who has ever read this book or you have seen this title. Anybody who has ever seen a book titled The Greatest Story Ever Told? Yeah. So I think none of us has seen this book, The Greatest Story Ever Told. In real sense, this book has not been published. It's about your own story. And we look at it in some years to come, that people might come across this kind of a story that has been documented by our life. So we want to put our life into a great story that everyone, or a great story that has never been told, in terms of the uniqueness in how we live our lives and how we optimize our potential. So I'll share this so that you'll be filling the spaces on this greatest story that ever told. So we want to document story. We are already documenting it, but the masterclass will reactivate the passion to document it more. This page provide you with a blank space where we can be able to start narrating the story. Maybe something will be triggering from the masterclass and you feel, wow, this needs to be in this story. So we'll be providing you with that platform to be able to write your greatest story. We are looking forward to a time that all of us will look like those two guys up there. And we'll all say that we did it. We did it together. So it will be like a mountain climbing, a lot of resilience, consistency, strategic. So as we walk through this mountain of learning and interacting, there will be sacrifice, as Paul indicated. So as we sacrifice, as we enjoy the journey, we are looking at a moment that all of us will be able to lift our hands up there and enjoy. So we hope that none of us will climb to the middle level and go back. No one will probably give up when the journey becomes a little bit tough, but we'll be able to move together like these two guys who are holding their hands until we are able to get to the peak of the masterclass. So what is your obligation? Results, very, very important. Robert Anthony said you can only have two things in life, reasons and results. Reasons don't count. Yeah, so I think if we assign ourselves some assignments, some activities, the most important thing will be what I'm bringing on the table. Because sometimes, even as we give reasons, already the time will have elapsed. So we might not do much. So it's better we do gradual, we make, even if it's little results, rather than really having pure reasons why we could not deliver. Maybe a book review why we could not deliver, maybe the reviewing the manual why we could not deliver. That reasons can be important and maybe it can justifiable. But again, we are saying time will have lapsed. Maybe if we had done something, then the results speak more than reasons. So trade-off is that we need to focus more on the results, not reasons. Trade-off, we trade off a lot. Time, comfort, finances, we are already trading off. Maybe some of you this time you used to do something else, but you're trading off that time to be able to sit down and learn together. And then consistency. At the end of it, all the results will be a product of how consistent we have been. And that is the law of sowing and reaping. So consistent will inform the results that we'll all enjoy at the end of it all. Otherwise, thank you for just listening through and going through the overview and just reflecting on the entire masterclass and what we expect. I'm sure if we stop now, there'll be some good takeaway that all of us can go home. I know it's virtual learning, so we might be already home, but something that we can all be able to pick and run with. So that's an overview. It's an overview of the program. I'll just do lesson 1 and then we'll pause there for about 10 to 15 minutes. But before that, can I give you 2 minutes just to freshen up? Maybe you need to stretch a bit. Let me give you 2 minutes just to freshen up, and then we'll just conclude by looking at lesson 1. And as you do that, feel free to share on the chat. What is your one takeaway so far? What is your takeaway? Feel free to share that as we break for 2 minutes, and then we continue.
Nikipoteza njia kwa safari nimechagua, nisipokuwa na nguvu niite, niongoze kwa neema, nifunze kwa upole wako, hata nikikosea, nisaidie, natamani kutembea nawe.
Good. So are we set to continue? Are we set to continue? Justin Ribagiza, if you can hear me, you can unmute and just say hi to the team. I know you joined as we were continuing. Justin.
Yes, thank you for being here. I'm over excited to be with you, group, and it's amazing. I've learned fruitful to be with you with the next sessions, and the outcome will be more and will be good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Justin. Welcome. So let's see just a few comments from the chat. Mariam, you're saying results are more important than reasons. Until I change myself, I cannot change others. I have to lead myself first. So that's your takeaway or your take home. Paul, reasons don't count, only results. Very true. Robert, I think that was earlier. So feel free to continue sharing your take home on the chat as we climax this by looking at this first lesson, but also we'll be concluding our today's session. So the thinking behind our leadership definition, we are saying leadership is influence through inspiration by becoming your authentic self. And that's why self-awareness is important in the masterclass. Being very authentic to myself, to be able to maximize the potential and serve your purpose to positively impact humanity for God's glory. Quite a long sentence, but I think if you can pick it in bits, you're basically saying I can only influence through an act of inspiration, but that also comes by being real, by knowing what I have, tapping into it, serving it out, and also being able to help the others also be able to do the same. So the authentic self informs our level one, authenticity, understanding who I am as a leader, and that also understanding some of those key aspects of a leader that I need to demonstrate for me to be able to create an environment where I influence myself and also to be able to influence others. And leadership is authenticated by service, and greatness is a product of servanthood. So that's the focus of our discussion today as we unpack this lesson on leadership. I mentioned about the 5 C's of a global leader. In our first session, this is what we normally look at, the 5 C's of a global leader. So as a global leader, one, I need to grow in competence. I need to grow in competency. Competency can be skills, probably in a technical area. It can be increasing your knowledge base. So we're looking at both the hard skills, professionally or technically, but you're also looking at the soft skills, probably in terms of communication, in terms of interpersonal relationship, in terms of mindset, mindset transformation. All these are issues to do with competency. So how am I growing in terms of my competency as a leader? 2, clarity in terms of vision. How clear am I in my leadership? Can I clearly be able to tell my team where I'm leading them to? So that clarity of leadership. And then character. How well am I grounded in terms of my integrity? Conviction in terms of purpose, in terms of value, in terms of understanding that I have an obligation and I have a slot that only me can fill that space. It's only I who can be able to fill that space. So that conviction of value, conviction of I'm here for a purpose, conviction of there is a space that I can only be occupied by me. And then compassion. Compassion is saying a leader needs to show care, need to show love. Just look at the life of Jesus and you could see this. He could balance the aspect of being passionate, but at the same time being compassionate. So a global leader, these are the 5 C's of a global leader. We'll engage more on this and unpack more on this, but remember this, the 5 C's of a global leader. I need to grow in all this area, and so that I'm able to be an all-rounded leader. Again, we look at the leadership pyramid of influence in the first session, the leadership pyramid of influence. So as you look at this pyramid, it starts from the ground, the self-influence or personal influence, and then it goes up probably even before we get into corporate or organization influence, there is other layers there at those small units. Sorry, in small units like family, like friends, they can come in between there. Then corporate, then national, then global influence. So as we will be unpacking this, we'll want to focus so much on the base of the pyramid, and then we grow it upward based on the quote that I shared and based on the experience of what we have personally gone through. That if a person is able to offer good leadership to self, then they are able to offer leadership to others. Actually, those people become natural leaders because they were not out for leadership. They were out to live a better life. They were out to optimize what they have, and then they end up realizing that people are attracted to them and they're able to follow them through. So that's the leadership pyramid. And then finally, the 6 I's that I mentioned about, and the 1T of leadership. And the 6 core principles that we'll be discussing are anchored on these 6 I's and the 1T of leadership. So what are the 6 I's? This, I think, will be a very good takeaway for today. And also, we are identifying ourselves as leaders. That as a leader, my awareness in terms of what I'm supposed to do or how I'm supposed to demonstrate leadership there can be informed by the 6 I's. So one of the I's is that influence. A leader influence, and a leader can influence through integrity, through integration. Integration, we are talking about being part and parcel with the people that you are leading. Also in terms of the impact or productivity, in terms of inspiration, and also in terms of intelligence, in terms of knowledge base. So if we can link all these 6 I's, again, they can give us what a leader should really do, or how a leader should really live his or her life, the lifestyle of a leader. And then they all trickle down to transformation. So basically, we can define leadership through the 6 I's and the 1T. And I'll give you a challenge. Maybe all of us can attempt this. Just define leadership in terms of the 6 I's and 1T. You may not include all the 6 I's. Maybe you can include a few of them. But how can you define leadership based on these I's and the 1T? Take it as a challenge. You can post on the chat before we conclude. So those are the 6 I's. And then the 6 I's, we can unpack the word influence. And if you want to recall it well, or just to enhance it and use it in terms of a deeper understanding of leadership, because we're talking about leadership being influenced. So what is the leadership? The word leadership, if we use it as an acronym, we have repackaged it in the book. You'll be able to see it in the manual. And we are saying I can mean inspirational. So you'll be able to inspire others, maybe through your passion, by focusing on a vision or integrity. And then as a leader, we see nurture, grow and develop and empower self and also others. Focus, fruitfulness, focus on results, focus on a vision, and then concentrate energy and resources for maximum impact. L stands for learning or listening. So leaders are learners, continuous improvement, cognitive intelligence, and we're saying leaders are active, deep listeners. So L is learning and listening, and then U from the acronym influence. U stands for leaders care. So we're basically saying balance a soft heart and a hard heart. Understanding, leaders care. And then E is emotional intelligence, being very sensitive to your own instincts and also to the people's instincts or needs, feelings, and the environment around us. So that's important in terms of emotional intelligence. And then navigate, we're saying leaders direct, route the team, steer the team towards a shared vision. So N, navigate, and then C, communicate. Leaders effectively communicate shared vision, direction, and values. And then finally, exemplaries. Leaders model the way. So that acronym really brings out quite a lot of the roles of a leader, the obligations of a leader, and the understanding of what me as a leader am expected to be able to run or offer my leadership. So finally, this is the last slide, when we're saying the 6 I's discussed in the manual, they are inspired and also they are anchored on these core leadership principles. So we'll discuss about these ones, the leadership principles. They are all in the manual. So the power of vision leadership, and we're saying leadership is the capacity to have foresight, the power of purpose in leadership, instilling a sense of meaning and significance to us ourselves as leaders and to the people that we are leading, and also the power of character in leadership, which is the foundation of leadership, power of mentorship and succession in leadership, saying leaders secure the future through mentorship and succession. So we have a whole session on that. And then power of personal development, we are perpetual learners. And then finally, power of effective communication in leadership. Leaders are great connectors, not just communicators, but they are great connectors. So we'll unpack this as we go through the masterclass. Finally, in every session, we'll have a leadership challenge. And this is our first leadership challenge. So evaluate yourself based on the 6 I's and 1 T, and then identify areas for improvement. You can rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5, probably in influence. Can you rate yourself as very high, or very low? How is your influence? Just use your own subjective view on this. There's no any particular scientific rating, just your own thinking about this. And then you can also look at how do we improve, especially the areas that you feel they are low. How do you work on improving those particular areas? So I'll share this through the message or through the WhatsApp, and then we'll be able to engage on this. Otherwise, this brings us to the end of this session. I hope we've been able to really get just an understanding of what is expected, and also been able to tap a few concepts that we can be able to run with. Remember our study method. What new information are you learning? Like today, what new information have you learned? I think you can single out that. 2, you can also think about what you need to act on, what you need to apply, what you need to change, and also probably what you need to share out there. So we'll want to pause there. But I don't know how you have defined leadership from the 6 I's. I think we can just have two comments. How can you define leadership either in a practical aspect from the 6 I's that we have learned today? You can take a challenge. Let's take a challenge just from 2 people, and then we'll call it a day. Yeah, so 2 volunteers. You can even unmute and just speak it out, or just share on the chat. Just 2, and then we'll close. So this lesson is recorded. We've recorded, so we'll be sharing this link so that you can go through the session again, just listen through, and probably just if you missed something, you can be able to catch up. Okay, so can we have probably 2 volunteers? Maybe I can single out 2 volunteers so that we save on time. Maybe Robert Gitahi, any idea on how we can craft that, or we can define that? If you, in your own words.
Hello.
Yes, Robert.
Okay. Leadership is the ability to influence, inspire, impact, and transform humanity.
Yeah, wow. If you can share that on the chat, I think I'll want to document it. So if you can share it on the chat, I think that would be good. Please feel free to do so.
Okay, I'm open.
Yeah, thank you. Nolan, if you can share how you have captured yours, we can conclude with your comment, Nolan Milama.
Yes. Okay, mine will be leadership is the ability to, okay, the ability to have the knowledge to, or rather the intelligence to
Nolan, you're a
influence.
bit low. You're a bit low on, can't hear clearly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was talking of leadership is the ability to have the knowledge, or rather have the intelligence to influence the generation that you engage with.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Nolan. You can also share on the chat. Feel free to do that. Otherwise, we want to really appreciate your commitment. This is a good start. And unless maybe there is a comment or a question, either there is a question or a comment that I may need to address, please feel free to just unmute and make a comment or a question, or and then we'll conclude. Okay, so that means we are good to go. We're good to go. So thank you so much. Let's keep the pace. We started well. So next week we'll do the commitment, and then we'll embark on lesson 2 and 3, and we'll be able to give you more guidance as we continue. Otherwise, from today, we're going to create just a WhatsApp group for this group only. We normally don't like creating WhatsApp early because we want people that will stay in the group. So once we start the lessons, then we're able to put people in the WhatsApp group. So we'll send you an invite. Feel free to be able to join the WhatsApp group. That's where we'll be sharing the updates and also the link that we'll be posting on YouTube so that you can be able to review the lessons. Otherwise, we are grateful for the good start, and we can conclude by sharing the words of grace together. And I just request that we all unmute and share the words of grace together.
Praise the Lord Jesus Christ and the
Jesus
love of
Christ.
God
And the
Yeah.
love of God
Love of God,
and the
and
fellowship
the
of
fellowship
the
of
Holy
the
Spirit
Holy Spirit
be with
be with
us
us
now
Us
now
now
and
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 forevermore.
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 Amen.
Amen.
Blessed night.
Thank you so much.
night.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bless you.
Okay.
Blessed night.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.